In this video, let's try to understand the number one exercise that we can do to lose our body fat. And this is an exercise which has been confirmed by a meta-analysis of 54 different studies. But before we jump into to understand the exercise, we first have to understand belly fat. If we look at evolution, human beings have been living in jungles for a long amount of time. And of course, living in jungles, we did not had access to fast food chains. So evolution gave us a gift, and the gift was body fat. By storing fat in various parts of our body was able to function even in the absence of a large meal for many days in a row. Now, with respect to the design of our body, when it comes to storing fat, it starts storing fat first in the belly area, and then it goes up and stores maybe in your chest region, your hands, your thighs, your face, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to losing fat, it follows what is called a phyllo method, which is first in, last out. So the last area which was able to accumulate fat will lose fat first, and the first area to accumulate fat will lose the fat last, which means that belly fat will be the last thing that you would lose in your whole transformation journey. Now, before you say that spot reduction is possible and you can just do a lot of crunches and you'll be able to get rid of belly fat, there have been numerous research which has been done in this space which confirms that spot reduction is not possible. So the only way that you lose belly fat is by losing all the fat in the body. So if you try to understand the science of weight loss, the first part we have to understand is the relation between calories and weight. Every 15 calories leads to 1 kg weight change. Now, if we are able to create a deficit from exercise, let's assume we are able to create a 500 calorie deficit from exercise, and we are able to create another 200 calorie deficit in our nutrition by eating less, we have a total deficit of around 700 calories per day. A simple maths will tell us that we will lose 1 kg of body weight in almost 11 days. When it comes to creating a calorie deficit through nutrition, you have to know how much of energy you are consuming every day. And the energy that you're consuming every day comes from two parts. One is your BMR. BMR is essentially the amount of energy that your body is consuming when at rest. And the second part is your active energy, the amount of energy that you're burning when you're exercising. When you combine the two, that becomes your total energy need for the day. And if you're eating less than the total amount of energy that you're burning in a day, you're creating a deficit through nutrition. You can calculate your BMR by just entering your height, your weight, your age, your gender in ChatGPT. And in order to calculate how much calories you're putting inside your body, you can use apps like MyFitnessPal. Now, the problem is we as working professionals, we don't have enough time. We start thinking about exercises which are able to burn the most calories in the least amount of time, so that we can just slot in that exercise in our schedule and be able to achieve that fat loss as quickly as possible. To do this, let's have a look of all exercises. I have ranked them in increasing amount of energy that they burn per 30-minute session. And what we see here is that weightlifting and walking burn the least amount of calorie in 30 minutes, while exercises like high intensity interval trainings burn the most amount of energy every 30 minutes. When you look at this table, you'll essentially conclude that HIIT is the best exercise for you and walking and weightlifting is not the best exercise for you. But the reality is the reverse. The reality is that walking is the best exercise for you. Let's try to understand through two different scenarios. So in scenario one, we have picked up HIIT. Active amount of calorie that we are going to burn in HIIT is going to be, let's say, 500 calories. The diet adjustment that we are going to make is, let's say, around 200 calories. So the total deficit is going to be around 700 calories. Timeline for 1 kg loss is roughly 11 days. Now, coming to adherence, when it comes to planning our exercises, we live in an ideal world. So we'll assume that we'll go and exercise every single day. So the plan will be to go and do HIIT every single day, which is, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Now, what happens if one of these days we are not able to go because we are tired? That takes out 1 day. What if there was a meeting and we could not go another day as well? That takes one day off as well. What if we are feeling lazy one day, which happens with most of us, and we skip another day? That takes another day as well. So that makes it 4 days out of the 7 days that we had planned. What happens due to this? One thing is that we lose a bit of motivation because we had set a bar very high. We had set a bar that we'll do 7 days, and now we are saying that we'll only do 4 days. And because we have reduced our exercise from 7 days to 4 days, the timeline will also increase. For the ease of calculation, let's keep it around 1.5 times the initial timing, which makes it roughly, let's say, about 17 days. Now let's look at the scenario 2. The scenario 2 is that we picked up walking. 60 minutes walking. Now in 60 minutes walking, we will lose 300 calories. We will be able to maintain a 200 calorie deficit through nutrition, which makes it 500 calorie deficit every single day, which means that we will be able to lose maybe around 1 kg in 16 days. So the actual plan here would be to walk every single day. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now what will happen? When you start on the plan, the first day you will be able to walk. Now the second day, maybe there is a meeting in the morning and you're not able to walk in the morning, then you will walk in the evening. On some days you have meetings in morning and evening as well, then you'll be able to walk in the afternoon. Some days you will split it into 30 minutes session. Some days you will split it into 15 minute sessions. Sometimes you are traveling to a different city. You'll just explore the city and your 60 minutes of walking will be done. So whatever be the case, walking is something that you will be able to sustain most of the time. It is quite unlikely that you will not be able to sustain this because it is not dependent on a trainer, because it is not dependent on the gym, because it is not dependent on fancy equipment. It just needs a good pair of shoes. So what will happen now? Because the adherence is so high with respect to the plan, let's assume we have 90% adherence, our motivation will be very high. Also, when it comes to timeline, there will not be a lot of change in timeline. We'll be able to achieve the same weight loss in, let's say, 17 days. And because you're able to do it pretty much 90% of the time, it is very easy for walking to become a habit. And when it becomes a habit, when you're able to do it time and time again, and you are creating that deficit, you will start seeing significant results over time. While HIIT is an excellent exercise, and there are a lot of studies which talk about the benefit of HIIT, but the problem of HIIT is not that it is a very good exercise. The problem is integration. Also, if you're heavyweight and you start with HIIT, there are high chances that you're going to hurt yourself, hurt your knees, hurt your muscles, etc. Also, the amount of time that you need to recover from one of these sessions is also very high in the beginning. There's a meta-analysis of 54 different reports, which essentially summarizes that our body doesn't differentiate between how we are burning calories. As long as we are burning calories, it will give us the results. Whether it is HIIT or just simple walking, our body will respond as long as we are able to create that calorie deficit environment. Ideally, HIIT or strength training done 2 to 3 days a week combined with walking, a focus on nutrition is going to give you the best results. This is why walking is the favorite tool of so many bodybuilders. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who would you know is a 7-time Mr. Olympia, has been walking for about 10,000 steps. Similarly, Ronnie Coleman has been walking 10,000 steps, who has been an 8-time Mr. Olympia. Phil Heath also walks 8,000 to 10,000 steps because after walking, they don't feel hungry. After walking, they're able to recover much faster. After walking, the damage to their knees, the damage to their muscles is very, very less. In fact, zero. There are studies which have shown the impact of walking in the lifespan. For women who are in their 70s, if they are walking 4,400 steps every single day, their risk of mortality goes down by 40%. Also, people who are able to do 7,000 to 8,000 steps per day, they are able to reduce their all-cause mortality by 50%. And walking does a bunch of different stuff as well. It is able to improve your stress resilience. It is able to help you with DNA repair. It is able to reduce the oxidative stress. It is able to reduce inflammation. Walking will essentially help you age much better. The report titled The Multifaceted Benefits of Walking for Healthy Aging, from Blue Zones to Molecular Mechanism, talks about a lot of benefit that walking has. It says walking decreases the risk of severity of various health outcomes such as cardiovascular, cerebrovascular diseases, type 2 diabetes, mellitus, cognitive impairment, and dementia, while also improving mental well-being, sleep, and longevity. Additionally, low-intensity physical exercise, including walking, exerts anti-aging effects and help prevent age-related diseases, making it a powerful tool for promoting healthy aging. Walking also helps us lose fat. It has been shown that walking helps target the visceral fat, which is very, very dangerous for our health. The fat that we are able to see from outside is essentially subcutaneous fat. It is the fat between our skin and our organs, and this is not a very dangerous form of fat. The more dangerous form of fat is actually visceral fat. Visceral fat is something which is much inside and is around our organs. Visceral fat could be higher in people who look much thinner otherwise, and walking helps reduce that visceral fat. Another research which was done on Japanese obese subjects concluded that walking helps reduce the dangerous visceral fat in our body. A similar kind of research was done on obese women, and same kind of findings were there as well. Besides all of this, there is a meditative benefit of walking as well. There's another study which was done to understand the impact of walking on emotional and mental well-being of Chinese adults. And it concluded walking has an important impact on emotional health of individuals. The study found that respondents who engaged in regular walks or other form of physical exercise had better emotional health than those who did not exercise regularly. The average number of walks per week was significantly and positively associated with emotional health. The study further revealed that for respondents living in neighborhoods with serious air pollution, regular walking still had a positive impact on their emotional health. Thus, encouraging residents to take regular walks is of great significance for regulating their mental health. So I'm hoping that you're going to include walking in your exercise plan from now on. I'm going to go out for a walk as soon as this recording is over. Hoping this helps. This is Vivek signing off. Like, subscribe, share, and take care.